Do you ever want to do a workout but you're lacking equipment? You might be traveling, you might be at home. I'm going to provide you with a really simple yet effective workout you can do that requires nothing more than your body weight and a wall. So while these exercises seem like they're very basic, they are actually quite challenging, and I think you'll be really surprised. First exercise we're going to do is going to be an RKC plank where my feet are elevated on the wall, and I'm going to do an opposite shoulder touch. This exercise is training your body to resist both the extension and the rotation of the spine, and it does develop some upper body strength, shoulder and scapular stability, as both are in a fixed position. So I'm going to set myself up here. Feet are against the wall. The closer, the more horizontal to the ground your body is, easier it's going to be. One important point I should even talk about before I get into doing these exercises, your arm positioning. Most of the time when you're doing planks, you're instructed to keep your shoulders directly above your hands. If your feet are elevated against the wall, in order to prevent them from sliding down the wall, you're going to need to position your hands so they're ahead of your shoulders. You're going to drive your body into the wall. This is going to prevent you from sliding. You do want to keep in mind, you want the bones in the upper arm, so you want your humerus bones to be in the right position. They should feel comfortable, like your shoulders should feel comfortable, as should your elbows. And you just want to use your arms to drive your bodies into the wall. So if you're doing this properly, you should experience no discomfort whatsoever. So with this one, feet are on the wall, hands are on the floor. Before I go, every single time, I'm going to squeeze my bum. I'm going to take, 360-degree breath in, 360-degree brace, deep breath in, I'm squeezing my bum. Now I'm just going to perform an opposite shoulder touch. If I'm doing that exercise correctly, there should be no movement in my body aside from the hand that is, or like the arm that is picking up to touch the opposite shoulder. My head, torso, and hips, and my feet should be in a stacked position. There should be my rib cage should not flare, my lower back should not hyperextend. That's the first exercise. Another exercise we're gonna do, this one is absolutely fantastic for the triceps. Same thing, it's like an RKC plank, but you're doing a long lever tricep push-up. Once again, everything applies, same body positioning, the breathing, the bracing, rib positioning, so I'm not going to talk about that again. Feet are on the wall. I'm going to position my thumbs and second fingers so they form a triangle, or you can place your hands so they're slightly wider. All I'm going to do here, go down, press up. That is all tricep. I don't do a lot of isolation work, but that exercise in particular really isolates the triceps. Another example of an exercise I'm going to do, it's a core stability exercise, it's an RKC plank. Same thing, this hand will have to be slightly ahead of the shoulder just so you do not slide down the wall. Lower down you are, more horizontal your body is, harder it will be. Head, torso, and hips are in a stacked position. And all I'm going to do here, contract all the muscles in my body as hard as possible, and I'm just going to hold. I'm really feeling my underside. If I want to make it a little bit tougher, I often will hold a kettlebell in a bottoms-up position, or you could take one leg off the wall. This forces the glute of the planted leg to really work, and it really forces the muscles in the anterior core. Well, all the muscles around the spine, particularly this lower oblique, really forces it to work a lot harder. That's another fantastic option. Another exercise you can do here is going to be a hip thrust. What you're going to do here, single leg against the wall, and all you're going to do, same thing, before you go, deep breath in, 360-degree breath in, 360-degree brace, slightly tuck the ribs, squeeze the bum. So I'll just show on this side, same thing. I find with that glute bridge It's more of a glute bridge because you're lying on the floor. Sorry, it's not a hip thrust. Because your leg is in that position, foot is elevated against the wall, it does target a bit more hamstring than if you were to be flat on the floor with your feet. So I called it a hip thrust, it's actually more of a glute bridge. Another example, this is fantastic for the upper body, same thing with developing lumbopelvic stability. It's going to be a forearms to hands plank. So if you can't do this from the wall, do it from the floor. Same body positioning applies. You're going to start so you're on the floor, then you're going to press up, back down. Same thing, your hands are going to have to be forward or else your feet are going to slide down the wall. And you want to alternate, I'm not. I'm slipping a little bit. So with that one, sometimes it is a little bit tougher. I was slipping, my hands are a little bit sweaty, but you want to just press up onto your hands, back down onto the forearms. One other one we're going to do here, it's a rear foot elevated split squat. Rather than having your foot on a bench or even on a band or something, your foot is going to lightly be resting against the wall, so the foot of the non-working back leg. This is going to place the majority of the work, or at least the emphasis, on the front leg, and it really, really targets the glutes of the working leg. So I'm just going to be right here. Figure out what is comfortable here. You want very little. You don't want to be pushing with this back leg, it's just lightly sitting on the wall. Before I go, I should explain once again, 360-degree breath in, 360-degree brace, lightly tuck my ribs, then I'm just going straight down, straight up. Aiming to keep as little pressure on the back leg as possible. So those are just a few of many exercises you can do where you're using nothing more than your body weight and a wall. So I didn't do a great job demoing the forearms to hands plank, only because I was slipping, my hands were a bit sweaty. If you're going to do this, make sure your hands are not sweaty, and often I will put chalk on them. That does make a pretty big difference, at least in terms of that exercise. Once again, and I've had to answer this question so many times, my hands are intentionally well ahead of my shoulders, only because this allows me to push my body into the wall, which prevents my legs from sliding down the wall. If my hands were directly below my shoulders, I would not be able to push my legs and my feet into the wall. I'd be a lot more prone to sliding down the wall, and it would make performing most of those exercises impossible. So give this a try and let me know what you think.